Imagine the silence after you disappear. No notifications. No parties. No late-night calls. No shallow conversations. At first, people laugh. They say, "He's wasting his time. He's isolating himself. He's weak." But they don't understand. You are not retreating. You are not escaping. You are not wasting. You are building. The crowd lives in the light of attention. They crave to be seen, to be validated, to be approved. But the king? The king knows that true crowns are not forged in the open. They are hammered in silence, in the furnace of solitude, in the depths of the unseen. History remembers only the victories. But the victories are born in the shadows. You are not hiding. You are preparing. You are becoming the solitary king. Your why is not to be liked. Your why is not to fit in. Your why is to build something so powerful, so enduring, so undeniable, that when you rise, the world bows. And today, you will discover exactly how to become that king. A king does not rise by accident. He retreats because he knows the battlefield of life demands preparation. The crowd is addicted to movement without progress. Scrolling endlessly, gossiping aimlessly, running tirelessly in circles of distraction. But you break the cycle. You turn your back on the noise. You retreat not because you are weak, but because you are too strong to settle for mediocrity. Every empire begins in silence. Rome was not built by men who wasted nights in taverns. It was built by men who strategized, disciplined their legions, and prepared for centuries before conquest. Your retreat is not escape, it is incubation. Like a seed buried in the soil, unseen, unheard, forgotten. But one day, it cracks open, and the tree emerges unstoppable. Most men fear retreat because they equate silence with failure. But kings know that silence is strategy. When you pull back, you are not vanishing. You are sharpening your blade, hardening your spirit, and storing energy for the day of battle. You are not lost. You are preparing to conquer. The first thing solitude gives you is not peace, it is confrontation. The room goes quiet, and suddenly your mind becomes a battlefield. The regrets you've buried, the failures you've denied, the desires you've suppressed, all rise like ghosts in the silence. This is why most men cannot endure solitude. They run from themselves into the distraction of others. They drown their inner demons in noise, in pleasure, in endless company. But you step into the crucible. Carl Jung spoke of the shadow, the dark, hidden parts of your psyche you deny. When you isolate yourself, you meet that shadow face to face. It is painful. It is frightening. It is exhausting. But here lies the truth. The man who befriends his shadow is no longer its slave. You integrate what you once denied. You master what once controlled you. This crucible is where your kingship begins. Because a man who has conquered himself cannot be conquered by anyone else. Solitude is not freedom from discipline, it is discipline magnified. You rise at dawn, not because anyone tells you to, but because you demand it from yourself. You train your body as though war is coming, because it is. You feed your mind with strategy, philosophy, history, and wisdom, because ignorance is the greatest enemy of kings. There is no applause in the shadows. No audience. No praise. No recognition. And this is your advantage. Because when no one is watching, your discipline is pure. It is not performance. It is truth. Every morning push-up, every late-night study session, every sacrifice becomes a brick in the unseen palace of your empire. The crowd cannot see it yet, but you can feel it. And one day, when you step out of the shadows, the discipline you forged will radiate from you like a crown, invisible yet undeniable. Understand this: real wealth is not built on display, it is built in silence. The crowd flaunts what they don't have: expensive clothes bought on debt, cars rented for attention, lives built on lies. But you build in silence. You save while they spend. You invest while they consume. You study while they distract themselves. Every decision compounds. Like drops of water filling a reservoir, your silent efforts accumulate until one day, the dam breaks, and your power floods the world. Think of Warren Buffett, reading alone for hours. Think of Nikola Tesla, experimenting in solitude. Think of great prophets retreating into deserts and caves before their mission began. Power is always forged away from the crowd. And you, too, must embrace the shadows as your workshop. This is the hardest truth. The path of the solitary king is lonely. You will lose friends. You will be misunderstood. You will miss the warmth of belonging. But this is the price of kingship. Other men trade their potential for comfort. But you endure the silence. And in that silence, you stop begging. You stop begging for company. You stop begging for validation. You stop begging for love. Instead, you become the source of love. You become the source of strength. You become the source of power. And when you do, loneliness transforms into sovereignty. You no longer need the crowd, because you have become a kingdom within yourself. In solitude, something extraordinary happens. Your inner sight awakens. Without the noise of the crowd, you begin to see differently. Ideas that were drowned by distraction now surface like treasures from the deep. Connections between past, present, and future become clear. You stop chasing trends, you build legacies. You stop imitating others, you design originality. You stop asking, "What should I do?" because the answer rises from within you. The solitary king's greatest weapon is not money or armies, it is clarity. And clarity is rare in a world drowning in confusion. Now, the work begins to take shape. Every book you read becomes a weapon. Every skill you practice becomes a tool. Every sacrifice becomes an investment. At first, your empire is invisible. The crowd thinks you're wasting time. They laugh because they cannot see the bricks you lay. But you keep building. Brick by brick. Day by day. Year by year. The empire grows in silence. And one day, it will rise so high that no one can deny it. This is why kings disappear before they emerge. The shadows are not their prison, they are their throne room in construction. And then comes the moment. You emerge. Not as the man they once knew, but as a king. Your body speaks of discipline. Your eyes radiate focus. Your silence commands respect. People ask, "Where have you been?" You smile, because you know the truth. You were building what they could never imagine. The return of the king is not loud. It is not desperate. It is inevitable. And when you rise, the world has no choice but to recognize what you have become. But the solitary king does not build only for himself. Your empire is not just money, power, or recognition. It is the impact you leave behind. It is the strength others draw from your example. Men lost in distraction will see you and awaken. Women who doubted will recognize your value. The world that ignored you will speak your name. But for you, the empire was never about them. It was about fulfilling the destiny within you. About becoming the man you always knew you could be. Legacy is not what they remember about you. Legacy is who you became in the silence. So remember this. The world will laugh when you vanish. They will mock your solitude. They will say you are wasting your time. But when you rise from the shadows, crowned in silence, armored in discipline, wielding the empire you built, they will whisper, "How did he do it?" You will not explain. Because kings do not explain. Kings only reign. You are the solitary king, and your empire awaits.